Hello, 7th grade. Today we're going to discuss the exercises for our rule, which is the first conditional that we have studied in the last lesson. The first conditional الجمل الشرطية النوع الأول. Let's revise together the structure of the first conditional. صيغة أو نموذج الجمل الشرطية النوع الأول. We have if clause or the condition clause, and we have the result clause, or we can say the main clause. جملة الشرط وجواب الشرط. We have if in the condition clause. يوجد لدينا if في جملة الشرط, and we have will in the affirmative form. will في الجمل المثبتة and won't in the negative form. Of course, don't forget to write the verb infinitive, verb 1 or the verb infinitive. So we have if clause, we use the present simple المضارع البسيط. The main clause, we have the future simple المستقبل البسيط. will plus verb infinitive, will مع الفعل المجرد. In the negative form, of course, we have won't plus the verb infinitive. Won't means will not. If not means unless. Also, we studied unless, which means if not. Can we switch between these two sentences? Yes. But be careful that we don't use the comma if we start with the main clause. لا نكتب الفاصلة إذا بدأنا في جملة الجواب الشرط. So if we start with will or won't, we don't add the comma. The F is written instead of the comma. Okay? Now, look at the booklet. So please open your booklet, page 22. We have an exercise. Correct the verbs. We have to correct the verbs. The first conditional. We have if plus present simple, and we have the complement. Then we have the future tense will plus the infinitive verb الفعل المجرد. We have an example here. If you go to France, comma, you will learn French. إذا ذهبت إلى فرنسا سوف تتعلم اللغة الفرنسية. Now the exercises. Number 1. If the verb is study today. The verb is go to the party tomorrow. The if clause, the verb tense is present simple. I study. We don't add anything to the verb because the subject is I. When the subject is I, we, you, they, we don't add anything to the verb. But if the subject is singular, he, she, it, we add s or es to the verb. So, if I study today, I will go. Will plus the verb infinitive go. Future simple. I will go to the party tomorrow. Number 2, if I have enough money, I will buy new shoes. لو كان لدي المزيد من المال أو مال كافي سأشتري حذاء. 3. She will miss the bus if she doesn't leave soon. So we have here the main clause at the beginning. So we write the future tense with the main clause. She will miss the bus if she doesn't. We have negative form. Either we can say unless, but here we have written if. So we use the negative form using doesn't or don't. She doesn't leave soon. If it rains, why did we add s here? Because the subject is it, singular. If it rains, I won't go to the park. Won't means will not. won't, will not. So we write, I won't go to the park. Unless, don't forget that we use unless instead of if not. Unless she takes the medicine, she will die. Unless she takes the medicine, she will die. We have the workbook, page 69, exercise number 1. Match the sentences beginnings and endings. Write the letters. We have a beginning and an ending. Beginning, ending. The beginning could be a main clause or if clause. The ending could be an if clause or a main clause. Number 1, if a lion is born in captivity, it will never learn to behave naturally. إذا ولد الأسد في الأسر لن يتعلم التصرف بشكل طبيعي. 2. A tiger will pace up and down. D. If it's kept in a small cage. سيتصرف أو سيبدأ بالمشي السريع إلى الأعلى وإلى الأسفل إذا حبس في قفص صغير. 3. Unless endangered animals are protected. إذا لم يتم, we say unless, if not, of course. Unless the endangered animals are protected, their numbers will decrease. What do we mean by decrease? Decrease بمعنى يتناقص, يقل. So we have decrease. 4. Some animals will become extinct. What do we mean by extinct? تنقرض. بعض الحيوانات سوف تصبح منقرضة. We have here the main clause, will become. So we have the main clause here. If we do not protect them. بعض الحيوانات ستنقرض إذا لم نحميها. Number 5. If temperatures increase. Look at increase. It's the opposite of decrease. We have increase and decrease. Decrease يقل. Increase يتزايد. So we have if temperatures, درجات الحرارة, we have plural. So we do not add S to the verb. B. The ice at the poles will melt. الجليد سوف يذوب على الأقطاب. إذا ارتفعت درجات الحرارة سوف يذوب الجليد على الأقطاب. The giant panda will die out. We talk about the giant panda will die. Will die. So we have here the main clause. C. Unless more is done to protect it. إذا لم يتم فعل المزيد من أجل حماية the giant panda, الباندا العملاق. So you can take a screenshot or you can stop the video and check your answers. Then move to the next exercise, which is exercise 2 and exercise 3 at the same page, which is 69, your workbook. Don't forget that unless means if plus not. The exercise says, rewrite the sentence, use unless. So we have to use unless. Number 1, if we don't protect them, many animals will become extinct. إذا لم نحميهم ستصبح الكثير أو العديد من الحيوانات منقرضة. The answer is here. Okay, we have the answer here. Unless we protect them, many animals will become extinct. We have here unless instead of don't. We replace if plus don't or if plus doesn't with unless. Unless we protect them, comma, don't forget the comma, many animals will become extinct. Number 2, if you don't travel to the Arctic, you won't see polar bears in the wild. We can write, unless you travel to the Arctic, you won't see the polar bears in the wild. 3. Julie will never become a vet. Vet means طبيب بيطري. Vet طبيب بيطري. Julie will never سوف لن will never become a vet if she does not study harder. Instead of writing if doesn't, we write unless. So the answer will be unless she studies harder. Don't forget to add the S because she is singular. Unless she studies harder. 4. Our wildlife project will be a disaster. What do we mean by disaster? كارثة أو مصيبة. If we can't find good photographs. سيصبح مشروعنا عن الحياة البرية كارثة إذا لم نجد الصور الجيدة. Good photographs. So we write, our wildlife project will be a disaster unless we can find good photographs. 5. If Joe doesn't hand in his work tomorrow, he'll be in trouble. إذا لم يسلم جو عمله غدا سيكون في ورطة. So we write, unless Joe hands. So don't forget the S also because Joe is a singular subject. Unless Joe hands in his work tomorrow, he'll be in trouble. Don't forget that he'll is he will. He will. It's an abbreviation. اختصار. Number 6. Sam won't go to the school trip if his parents don't give him permission. Permission الإذن. لو لم يعطي أهله الإذن بالذهاب إلى الرحلة لن يذهب سام إليها. So we write, Sam won't go to the school trip unless his parents give him permission. Why did we write give infinitive مجرد without adding s? Because we have parents. The subject is plural. When the subject is plural, don't forget that we write the verb infinitive. نكتب الفعل مجرد بدون أي إضافة. Exercise number 3. Complete the sentences with the verbs in the brackets. So we have to correct the verb. Verb in bracket, we have to write it with the suitable verb tense, either present simple or future simple. You will receive a free t-shirt if you join Wildlife World. The animals will not survive unless it rains soon. If Ben trains hard, تدرب, trains means تدرب, he will become a better player. إذا تدرب بشكل جيد سوف يصبح لاعب ممتاز. Unless he improves, he will not be on the team. إذا لم يتطور لن يصبح بالفريق. If we go to the zoo, what animals will we see? إذا ذهبنا إلى حديقة الحيوانات، ما هي الحيوانات التي سنراها؟ Lily will not arrive on time unless she leaves now. ليلي لن تصل في الوقت المحدد إذا لم تغادر الآن. Write your answers down in your workbooks. The last exercise. Use your own ideas. استخدم أفكارك to complete the sentences. I have already given you suggested answers, suggested sentences. جمل مقترحة. and you can write your own sentences. So you have the choice. Either you write my choices or my suggested answers, or you can answer them by your own ideas. Number 1, if I finish my homework quickly, I will go out for a while. إذا أنهيت واجبي بشكل سريع قد أذهب وأخرج في نزهة لبعض الوقت. 2. I'll go to university if سأذهب إلى الجامعة if I have. So after if we can write I have enough money to afford. سأذهب إلى الجامعة لو توفر معي المال الكافي للدراسة. 3. Unless we practice every day إذا لم نتدرب كل يوم we will never have fit bodies لن نحصل على أجسام صحية أو سليمة. We won't succeed unless لن ننجح. We won't succeed unless you study hard, or we can say we study hard. Okay, so we can omit you and write we. Okay, the next one, we have the answers to the working with words in our workbook, page 68. Working with words, page 68. Be careful. These are the answers. Exercise number 1. Write the words next to the correct definition. To the correct definition. التعريف الصحيح. We have to write the correct word beside each definition. Matching. توصيل ما بين الكلمة والتعريف المناسب لها. The words are incredible غير معقول. Independent مستقل. Impatient غير صبور. Impolite غير مؤدب. Invisible غير مرئي. Imperfect غير كامل. So we have the M or the N prefixes that mean not. Okay? Number 1. Wanting things to happen at once. Impatient. أي الشخص الذي يريد الأمور أن تحدث في الحين واللحظة هو شخص غير صبور. So we write impatient. Number 2. Unseen غير مرئي. So we have invisible. Number 3. Surprising and difficult to believe. مفاجئ ومن الصعب تصديقه. Incredible. 4. Having some errors or mistakes. يوجد هناك بعض الأخطاء. So we have imperfect. أي بمعنى آخر غير كامل غير تام. Rude وقح أو قليل الأدب. Impolite. Rude, impolite. Not needing anyone to help you. لا تحتاج لأي أحد لكي يساعدك. So you are independent. Independent أي مستقل. لا تعتمد على أحد. Exercise number 2. Choose 3 of the words in exercise 1 and write sentences of your own. Of your own. اختر 3 كلمات من التمرين الأول واكتبهم في جملة مفيدة. Here I have written 3 suggested sentences. So you can write your own sentences. The example is impossible غير ممكن. It's impossible to visit the castle today because it is closed. من المستحيل زيارة القصر أو غير الممكن أن نزور القصر اليوم لأنه مغلق. Impolite غير مؤدب. No one likes impolite responses. لا أحد يحب الإجابات غير المؤدبة. Invisible غير مرئي. My brother broke my phone and became invisible. أخي كسر هاتفي وأصبح غير مرئي، اختفى. Impatient. Wait, don't be impatient. انتظر. لا تكن مستعجل أو غير صبور. I repeat that you can use your own words and write your own sentences. Now exercise number 3. Spelling. Complete the sentences with the correct word in the box. Make any necessary changes. We have the words homophones. What do we mean by homophones? الكلمات المتناغمة التي تشترك بنفس الصوت عند قراءتها but they spell differently. تختلف في التهجئة and of course the meaning will be different and the part of speech will be different also. تختلف في التهجئة وبالتالي تختلف بالمعنى وتختلف بنوعها من الكلام verb, adjective, noun or adverb. The words are roll. Number 1 roll R-O-L-L which means لفائف. roll R-O-L-E هو عبارة عن دور في مسرحية. shore S-H-O-R-E means شاطئ. sure S-U-R-E متأكد. flow F-L-O-E طوف. flow F-L-O-W يفيض أو يتدفق. allowed A-L-L-O-W-E-D يسمح. allowed L-O-A-L-O-U-D بصوت مرتفع. mail M-A-I-L بريد إلكتروني. mail M-A-L-E ذكر. Number 1. The male polar bear was seen hunting on a huge ice floe. تم مشاهدة ذكر الدب القطبي يصطاد على الطوف الجليدي العملاق. 2. The water flowed around the rocks and the waves crashed onto the shore. تدفقت المياه حول الصخور وقامت الأمواج بالارتطام بالشاطئ. Are you sure we're allowed to eat all these delicious cheese rolls? هل أنت متأكد أنه مسموح لنا تناول كل هذه اللفائف الجبن اللذيذة؟ 4. Jack is playing the role of the prince in the school play. جاك يلعب دور الأمير في مسرحية المدرسة. When the mail arrived, Ross opened his letter and read it aloud. عندما وصل البريد الإلكتروني إلى روس قرأه بصوت مرتفع. Number 4. Complete the words using the CI or the TI. Complete the sentences. As we can remember that the CI or the TI sometimes pronounced sh. In some words, of course, not in all words, such as precious, precious, ثمين. Initial, الحرف الأول. Optician, طبيب العيون. Ancient, قديم. Patient, صبور. Number 1. Pen had to be examined by the optician before he got his glasses. تم فحصه من قبل طبيب العيون قبل أن يحصل على نظاراته. There are some very ancient buildings in Rome. هناك بعض الأبنية القديمة في روما. Please be patient and wait for your turn, the teacher told the children. الرجاء أن تكونوا صبورين وأن تنتظروا دوركم. هذا ما قالته المعلمة. The initial letter of a proper noun is always a capital. الحرف الأول من الأسماء العلم كأسماء الأشخاص. We have proper noun is initial capital letter, of course, the initial letter. Gold and silver are both precious metals. الذهب والفضة كلاهما معادن ثمينة. Please, it's an important page. Check the answers carefully. The exam will be in these information, so you can study them very carefully in order to get the good mark that you are looking for. This is page 66. A point of view reading comprehension. Please check your answers. All these are the answers to the workbook exercises. Check them well in order to study them for the exam. Don't forget that your exam will be in Unit 7 and 8 only. Study them well and inshallah you will pass the exam very well. بأمان الله.